Welcome to today's Game Plan College workshop. Today we're going to be talking to two seniors who have gone through the college application process, financial aid application process, have chosen a college to enroll in. So we're just going to ask them a couple questions about their college application process so you can have an idea of things you might encounter next year. Just a reminder that we will be recording this, so please keep your microphones and your cameras off. If you have any questions, go ahead and just put them in the chat box and we will make sure to ask students those questions. So I will go ahead and turn it over to our two panelists. So if you will just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Angel Cruz. I used to attend Durham School of the Arts, and I will be enrolling into Tufts University this fall, and I'll be studying civil engineering.
Hi, my name is Briani Gomez. I used to attend J.D. Clement Early College High School, and I will be enrolling in the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Awesome. So can you just tell us what you plan to major in, if you know already?
Oh, and I plan to major in biology.
Awesome. So why those colleges in particular?
Yeah, so I chose Tufts University, but it was like my list was a lot of similar schools. Um, However, like what I really looked for was a school that gave no loans to a full ride. Essentially, like it would meet full need. So that's what I really looked for the most is schools that would give the most financial aid. And the reason why I picked Tufts was because they gave me a full ride, and they were famous for their students. And they gave me a ton of support. So I would be walking in with around like $1,000 that they would have paid me just to attend the school.
Why I chose Chapel Hill was because I went to this program called Project Uplift, and then they had an admitted students day after I got accepted, and just meeting the staff and meeting the students, I was already really comfortable there and able to make friends. And I just knew that that was the university that I wanted to go to because my major was there. I got a full ride, and like I was just super comfortable. I loved the area. It was close to my house, and it was just perfect.
So can you tell us a little bit about the activities you participated in high school?
Yeah, so I did a lot. I was vice president of my philosophy club. I was president of a physics club, and in general, I just joined a lot of like STEM-oriented clubs, such as like science Olympiad, physics club, math club, and I also did sports. So I did track and cross country, and on top of that, I also did college prep programs, such as the one provided by Emily K Center, like Game Plan College, and this other program called SES Student Scholars, which all of you guys can apply for your junior year. So I did a lot of things that were different from each other. Like I did a sport, I did STEM oriented clubs, and I did a philosophy club. So I really tried to like diversify my extracurriculars to show that I was more than just like, I was more than just a runner. I was more than just STEM. I was more outside of the classroom. So yeah.
I did a bunch of things, but what I really, the big chunk of it was a lot of volunteering, especially at animal shelters and my job. I was also in a lot of clubs like gardening club, book club, anime club, music appreciation club. Just, yeah, like Angel said, just expanding and diversifying my activities.
Awesome. So were you enrolled in honors and AP courses? If so, which ones and why?
Yeah. So my school has this sort of like underground formula, I guess, for students. A lot of the more privileged students have like this list of APs to take starting from freshman year all the way to senior year. But like I am not a privileged student, so I really had to figure this out on my own. I didn't start taking AP classes until junior year, which is very, very unlikely or very weird at my school. And it started by taking APUSH and AP Lang, which are pretty common to take your junior year. And then by senior year, I decided to double it because I really wanted to increase my chances to get into a really selective school. So I ended up taking 4 AP classes, which were the STEM classes. It was AP Computer Science, AP Calculus, AP Physics, and then AP Literature just to like round it out, you know. So I really tried to take all the STEM classes because what school really don't like to tell you is that they require courses, or at least a lot of them do. They require courses for your application to even be looked at, which is so unfair. But it's a harsh reality that you really have to get accustomed to. So I really tried to bend my schedule towards the requirements that school had.
For me, early college is like basically doing 2 years of high school and then 2 other years of college. So I had the privilege of doing honors classes all in those 2 years, like honors biology and stuff. And then the rest of the years, I had the privilege of doing college classes with NCCU, so I could list those and transfer those credits to Chapel Hill.
Franny, will you tell us a little bit about why you chose to attend early college and maybe give some folks advice if they are thinking about attending an early college?
Well, personally, I attended early college because I was following my brother because he also attended early college. But it was honestly the best decision I've made because it helped me in the long run to just get a head start. And although it was hard because you have to pack everything into 2 years, it was definitely worth it. And I think if you're thinking about applying to an early college, you definitely should. Mhm.
Awesome. Angel, we have a question for you. Did you visit Tufts before applying?
Yeah, so over the summer, thanks to my SES Newton program, they actually flew me out to Boston and I was able to visit like 14 schools in that area. So I took like a quick tour of Tufts, but it wasn't extensive. It was just like a hour-long tour. But yeah, I was able to visit. It was really beautiful. It was really beautiful, especially because it's like right outside of Boston, but not in Boston. So you can see the beautiful view that is Boston.
Angel, did you do any other fly-in programs, or can you tell us a little bit about fly-in programs?
Yeah, so fly-in programs, if you didn't know, were just programs where universities fly you out. They pay for housing, food, travel, all that type of stuff to a college, university, that tend to be like 3 days. And I did one for Carnegie Mellon, Bucknell. I think there's another one that I forgot. And then I got into Pomona, but I didn't like I past reached the deadline because I was doing another flying, so I unfortunately couldn't go to LA, which I was really sad about. But like it's a really cool thing because so like not so many people apply, so it's almost like a guaranteed acceptance. And like I know my friend applied to 7 and he got into 5, so it's a really fun experience. And not only that, you get to like develop yourself in the community of the school. So if they already know you, they're like, oh yeah, that's the kid from the flying. Then it'll make a really good impression when they're reading your application, and they're more likely to say yes.
Awesome. So our last panelist was having some technical issues, but it looks like he's here. So Josh, will you just introduce yourself, tell us where you're going and what you plan to major in next year?
Well, good morning. First and foremost, I apologize for being late. I had a little bit of some technical issues, but I got everything squared away. Like I said, my name is Joshua. I'm going to Catawba College as of this fall, and I'm really excited for it.
Awesome. So my next question for all of you is,
And your major, Josh?
Oh, I plan to double major in psychology and sociology with a minor in public and professional writing.
awesome. So my next question for all of you is, when did you start preparing to apply to college?
Mm, well, like I don't know. I feel like everyone begins the college application process in eighth grade, in like whether or not they take a high school math course. But like began to like prioritize the college application process around the summer before senior year, uh, because of again my SES Newton program, and the Emily K resources. They all told me like, begin your essays, start focusing on the SAT, ACT, standardized testing, begin developing your college list, and all that type of thing. Like it was essentially like begin the college application process as it's known formally. So I really began focusing on that the summer before senior year, which I would say is I wouldn't say like late, but it's not like ideal. Typically, you want to start thinking about it more seriously earlier because of the transcript that colleges will receive. They'll see your freshman year, your sophomore year grades. So it's not a really good idea to start, the summer before junior year. But like I realized early on that I wanted to have like all A's in my transcript. So I started around junior year to do that. But I wish that I started earlier towards freshman year because they really do look at that.
Yeah, I would also agree. But I would say I don't think there's too late of a starting point. I understand that some people, because of certain factors, they start later, and some people start sooner. I think as early as you can start. Whether it be freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, or even before then. I mean, if you have parents or college advisors or people at like the Emily K Center who put that in your mind and plant that seed. Start as early as you can. There's never too early of a time to start research and to start applying and to start doing a lot of these different things that go into getting into institution of higher learning. But I also would say I would agree that, if you do start this summer before your senior year, that's fine as well. But just use that time to work diligently. Use times like we are in now where everyone is confined to their homes to really put in some good quality work and just use your time wisely. I mean, anytime you have some downtime, just start formulating an idea of what that looks like for you. If an institution of higher learning is something that you want to pursue, then see what that looks like for you. If something else is what you want to pursue, see that as well. But take as much time as you have. There is really no right time. As soon as possible, and whenever you get the chance after that is really what helped me prepare.
Brianna, do you have anything to add to that?
They kind of said everything.
Okay.
Personally, I prepared just like Angel the summer before senior year because of the Emily K. You guys really put it in my mind that I should start working diligently. Because I didn't really take it seriously. I mean, I took my grades seriously throughout the year, but I never took like the college application process seriously. I never considered like starting early until I was in the program where you guys kind of like drilled it into me. You have to do this and you have to do that. And yeah.
So can you all tell us a little bit about your decision-making process when making your college list?
Money. I prioritize money above
Yep.
all. I was like, if I have to pay loans, I'm not even going to college.
Yeah.
If I have any debt, like I'm not going to college at all. I will work anywhere
Mhm.
else but college. Yeah, money was the number one factor. I was not paying any debt for sure. The second came, I wanted to go to the Northeast or California. I did not want to stay in heat. So I'm not really sure why I applied to California, I guess, but I knew that I wanted to go up north. So I applied to all the northern schools up in like Boston, Pennsylvania, that type of thing, which are a lot of schools, a lot of prestigious schools. So it's not a bad idea.
Anyone
Josh,
else
you're
like to
speaking,
share?
but you're on mute. You're on mute,
Sorry,
Josh.
sorry. One of the other things I said I agreed with the financial aid piece is that was one of the big things for me as well. The other thing was student to teacher ratio, and the reason why I say that is because I love to ask questions. I love to be in tune with my professors and in class. And that was one of the things that helped me narrow down my search list. I knew I wanted to stay in North Carolina. I knew that I wanted to stay closer to home so that I could be in tune with my family. And I knew that I needed to go to an institution of higher learning that gave me the opportunity to have some financial wiggle room, but also what was going to give me the best learning environment. And one of those big things was teach student to teacher ratio and learning about how close knit that college or university was. Once I figured out those things, I just looked at who I was as a person, and that helped me narrow it down even more. And so by the time I got to the Emily K Center and was working with the college game plan program, I had all those things working for me, and they helped me tie up all of the loose ends in terms of where do I need to apply, what are the deadlines, what does everything actually mean? Because we do these things and we may not know exactly what they mean or how they apply to us. So all that went into me getting a list of schools to apply to. And I think once you get an idea of what you're looking for and who you are as an individual, you'll find what the fits in terms of college are for you, or an institution of higher learning, or anything else is for you.
What tools did you all use to find these colleges that fit what you need?
For me, it was mostly like a word of mouth. I heard everyone around me talking about a lot of different schools, and like I would piece things together, like, oh, that's nice, or like, oh, the diversity or the accreditation of a college, or like just a lot of hearing about these colleges made shaped my opinion about them, and I slowly like made my own list in my head.
Completely agree. What other people said definitely influenced. They would be like, "Oh, this school's really good for underrepresented students," or like, "This school is like they pay you to go to school," or "This school does this school does that." And I definitely did that. Especially for my school, Tufts. Uh, During the summer, I met a student who was a Tufts student. And he was just so passionate about his school that I was like, I want to apply there.
Um, Word of mouth definitely was one of the things, but one of the things I say worked best for me was using all the resources I had in my school. So whether it be with my college advisors or teachers, having those real sit down conversations with people and doing some like really intense research. And then, like I said, when I came to college game plan, it was supplemented more by, us sitting down and really figuring out what we look for and what we need, and what are our aspirations in terms of majors, and all those things go into account. But it was just using all of those resources I have at my disposal and using them until I just used them until I couldn't anymore. And they got me to where I'm at now by going to have those conversations. Yes, it's sometimes time consuming to go. You have to go during your lunch, or you have to go in the morning or in the afternoon to do this stuff, but it's worth it. It's worth it to use those resources because most of the time they're free. The people are there to do exactly what they're saying they're there to do. And if you know that they're there, use it. It's not corny to go talk to your college advisor. It's not corny to want to go to a workshop. It's not something that's, whatever. It's actually very helpful. It's actually very insightful. And if you take the time to put into it, you'll get out of it a lot of good things. And that's one of the things that I say helped me the most, is just using all of those free resources and tools that I have in my school community and outside of my school community.
So, can you just tell us a little bit about how you prepared to apply to college your freshman, sophomore, and junior years?
I guess freshman and sophomore year were just years to build up your GPA and grades. Mostly, that was like the number one priority. Like get your grades up during freshman sophomore year, have a strong GPA, and then, but like underneath that is also the priority of extracurriculars and exploring what you're passionate about. So I did philosophy club, science olympiad, track, cross country during my freshman sophomore year, and I really explored like what I was passionate about, and that was like STEM. So I built upon that junior year, senior year by still getting even better grades and joining more STEM oriented extracurriculars, and finding out that I really like I was doing. So yeah, it's not only about GPA, but it's also about exploring what you're passionate about.
You can go ahead.
Oh, I 100% agree with Angel. Like, I just took the time to like explore, and I had this amazing opportunity to like actually have a like work with veterinarians and like have a job where I can be around veterinarians, and, like just see them every day and just like that's my dream. That's what I want to do. And like the reason I was able to do that was because I also joined STEM clubs and like I got to know people who are also interested in like biology and stuff.
I think year by year would help me prepare to applying for college was making a criteria that fit me. Whether that be one of the things I mentioned was class size, whether that be actual size of the school, whether that be the organizations, the clubs that they have in the school. What are the programs that are very prestigious or highly touted at this college or university or institution of higher learning? What is the atmosphere? What is the community like surrounding this school? How does that fit me? All these, there's tons and tons of questions that I asked myself year by year as I figured out who I was, not only as a student, but as a person. And high school is one of those times where those two things kind of meet in the middle. And so college is just like an institution of higher learning, and college universities are kind of like, a part of that process of making that criteria, figuring out what fits you, what works for you. And so year by year, I built my criteria. I built what exactly was I looking for in a university, because it's important to know what you're walking into and what you're getting into and who you're applying to, and where you're going, because all these things matter. This isn't just high school anymore. This is your life. This is where you're going to make your career. These are your stomping grounds for the next 4 years. So take it very seriously. And so I just made my criteria every year, built it, and built it. And by the time I always go back to this, by the time I got to my junior and senior year, working with the college game plan program, they really helped me tie up the loose ends in my criteria and what I was looking for, and sat down and helped me make a concrete list of this is what fits Joshua, and this is what Joshua looks for in an institution of higher learning, and this is what he looks forward to when he attends an institution of higher learning. So that's the thing that helped me prepare, was just building my criteria year by year, however that looks for you as an individual.
Great, thank you. So overall, how was the college application process for you?
It was one of the most degrading things in my entire life. It was possibly the worst thing that I ever experienced in my entire life. It was honestly like, and I've gone through some stuff, right? It was the worst, I would say, out of all of them, just because it was just so many different layers. Like the SAT made you feel stupid, the college application process was stressful, and then financial aid was just, it's like so complicated. You were like, is it even worth it at this point? It was just a constant year-long struggle, constantly pounding, constantly testing your worth. But I would say that it was just so worth it. It was so worth it in the end, because the reward is 4 years. Okay, so the 1 year of struggle that you're going to go through is worth the 4 years of reward, of fun, of relationships, of everything that you could have dreamed of. It'll be so worth it in the end. So that's what kept me going.
I'm sorry it was so degrading, Angel, but glad it was worth it.
Yeah. I kept on going, and it was worth it.
100% agree with you. It was tough. It was so tough. But yeah, you're completely right. It was definitely worth it.
I was more so excited because I feel like this is the one time that you get to kind of just talk about yourself for once in a light that's just tell me everything. And I remember when we were at College Game Plan, they were like, this is the time we were making, our little information sheets about ourselves. This is the time where you need to speak up that stuff. If you're not the type of person to talk about yourself or talk about what you've done for the past 4 years or what you've done outside of school, this is your moment. This is your time to showcase it. I would look at it as that. it kind of alleviates some of the fears that you may have of applying or taking tests or whatever the case may be. Number one, know that those things don't define you. And number two, the characteristics that do define you, know that this is just a time for you to showcase what you've done, because you're a hard worker. You wouldn't be in the place that you would be if you weren't a hard worker. And you wouldn't be here on this call or listening to us speak or whatever the case may be now if you weren't a hard worker. And all those things you have to think and put into account when you're going through the application process. And that was one of the things that helped me just kind of calm down, focus, alleviate a lot of my fears that I had, get over talking about myself, get over meeting new people and talking to admissions counselors and advisors and people and getting to know different universities and college and institutions of higher learning. It was all those things just wrapped into one. And that was one of the things that helped me, just looking at it from a different perspective.
So did you have any obstacles as you went through the college application process? And if so, how did you overcome them?
The financial aid process was pretty difficult for me because of a lot of technical errors, I guess. Like my last name caused a lot of errors in the system, so they didn't receive a lot of my documents. So I had to essentially redo the whole financial aid process under quarantine, which is really difficult because they expect a lot of documents to be printed out and signed. And I don't own a printer, and everything is closed, so it made it especially challenging. But I just sort of pushed my way through. I was like, you know what? Just let me sign it. Just let me sign it virtually, I guess. Let me just write in a little Photoshop app my name, and that is it. So it's a lot of the financial aid process was very tedious because it's a lot of just submitting documents, tax forms, very confusing, adult stuff. But I was always helped thanks to Game Plan College. They would be like, oh, do you need any help? Or SES, they would help me out a lot. So it really is a lot of asking other people for help, no matter how hard or how dumb it may seem. Asking for help is really, really useful because it's always there. People are always there willing to help you no matter what. So I would say if you ever encounter an obstacle, just ask anyone, especially these amazing people right here.
I would say an obstacle that I had in the admissions process was trying to keep up with all of the deadlines and the times where I had to get everything in, because when you're still in school, you're trying to do essays, you're trying to take tests. It is a balance of time management. And so I say it's an obstacle, but I think it was more so a learning moment for me to just learn about my time management and how to balance all of those things, how to still go to school during the day and then to come in the afternoon to College Game Plan or have a virtual meeting with my college advisor and really crunch those things, just setting up times to go through those things. And I had a lot of issues with those things at times, just getting the deadlines in and making sure I was staying on top of them and making sure that I had all of the information in and I didn't have any outstanding requirements in terms of what they needed in terms of my profile as a incoming student, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, it was more so just a balance of time management. Like Angel said, ask for help, ask for assistance. Like I said earlier, there's people that are there literally to assist you. That's their job, is to assist you with college, with just getting anywhere you want to be in life. So take it, use it to your advantage. And that's one of the things that helped me.
For me, the hardest part was actually, I knew the help was there and I knew people were they actually wanted to help me. But I think the hardest thing was just dealing with myself personally. I was really shy and to ask for help even from my teachers or anyone. So I kind of really relied on my friends, and they were the ones that pushed me to start asking for help and to go to the MLK and to do all these things, because I wouldn't have done it without them. I didn't have the self-confidence to do those things, but I'm glad they pushed me. And I had to have it's important to have a support group, because if you don't have the will yourself, then you have to have other people to push you to do it, because it will be worth it in the end.
So we have a question in the chat. Did you ever find the process overwhelming?
Briefly, I'm just going to say no, not for me personally, because like I said, I felt like if you just look at it as an opportunity to get outside of get outside of yourself for a moment and share with someone else what you've done and what you'll accomplish and what your work ethic is like, I think it alleviated a lot of that stuff for me, and it didn't make the process overwhelming. It made it exciting. Sometimes you had your ups and downs. You're going to have your peaks and valleys, but for the most part, as long as you don't look at it as an overwhelming thing, it won't overwhelm you. It'll be exciting. It may be daunting at times. It may have its low points. It may have its high points, but for the most part, it should be exciting. You're going to be a rising senior, rising junior, or whatever, and this should be an exciting time for you.
For me, it was definitely overwhelming. I would say I was juggling high school classes, college classes, a job, and just a lot of family responsibility on my shoulders. And it was very overwhelming at times, but with the help of the Emily K Game Plan College and like just everyone around me, I was able to do it. I don't know how. It was really overwhelming at times, I would say. But like Josh said, some parts were exciting as well because I got to talk about myself, and it was just a bright look at the future, like 4 years of college, 4 years of freedom. I just kept looking forward to it, and it was nice.
So if you all could go back in time, would you change anything about the way that you went about the college application process?
I wish I was more confident because I did this thing where I had like my initial college list was 9 schools, but as I got towards deadlines, I was like, I'm not getting into any of these. So what I did was that I applied to like 4 schools in the span of 2 hours right before it was due, submitting to those schools, and like I don't know, I guess I was just so like under like my confidence was so low at this point because I just didn't think I was going to get into any that I just like submitted my application everywhere that they accepted it, which was not a good idea, I guess, but it led to a lot of like opportunities in the end. So I would just recommend having more confidence. I would just say like be confident in yourself. Like you are going to make it. Like this process is really hard, but it is really rewarding. So I would just say be confident in yourself. If you believe that you are meant to go to the school, then you will go to the school. Like just believe in yourself in the end, as cliche as that sounds, because it's a very hard process and it's very easy to just get swept away. So really try hard to just not be crushed by this.
No, there isn't anything that I would change. I think everything that happened to me or that I had to juggle or had to push myself through, I think it led me to where I'm at. And the reason why I can say that is because now in retrospect, looking back on it and looking about where I'm standing now, for my family, just like personally, um, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for those obstacles or those hoops I had to jump through. And now I'm in a position where I'm going to college, and and because of scholarship competition, my tuition is fully paid for, and all these things happen because of what I went through. So no, there's nothing that I would change, because where I'm at right now, I couldn't even think of me being at that position with everything that's happened in just the past year. And I'm very thankful for that. So, I just try not to dwell on the down moments I had. Because like I said, there's peaks and valleys. But if you stay in the valleys long enough, you'll think it's the norm. You'll think this is the end all be all. But everything has its peaks and its lows. And so I'm in this position because I look past those things, and I know it's difficult. And it's easy to say in retrospect, but that I wouldn't change anything about any of the processes that I had to go through.
So, what was the most helpful piece of advice someone gave you as you were applying to college?
That's a good question. I would say we had a workshop at the Emily K Center, and this admissions counselor from UNC was there, I believe, and I can't think of his name, but we were having a separate conversation, and he asked me a simple question. It was kind of rhetorical, and he said, "Who are you?" And he was like, "If I was an admissions counselor and I was looking at your application and I was trying to figure out what stands out about you, I want to know, who are you? So in 1 or 2 sentences, could you explain to me, who are you?" And that was a question that kind of took me back, because he wasn't asking it in a demeaning way. It was more so to get my mind thinking about, okay, who is Joshua, and how does he fit into an institution of higher learning? What fits him? And the more and more we had that conversation, that always stuck in my mind, and that was a piece of advice that he gave to me that it always stuck with me. It's just giving a pitch, being able to pitch and to talk to other people and talk to new people, because they're going to get thousands and thousands and thousands of applications. But what stands out about yours? What stands out about your profile? What stands out about what you as a person? Because like I said, there are a lot of things that go on with the college process, but none of those things truly define you. When it comes down to it, who are you? How do you fit into that university? How do you fit into that college? How do you fit into that institution of higher learning? What do you bring to their community? Those are the things I think that mean a lot more to admissions counselors and to people who are looking for potential candidates to be at their institution of higher learning than most things that people are willing to admit. Because it's like, what are you giving to our university? What are you giving to our college? You took a test one time. Yes, I understand that. But what have you done for the past 4 years? Who are you? What have you done for the past 8 years? What do you do outside of school? What are your passions? What do you love to do for fun? What are your pet peeves? What are your things you need to work on? All of those things made me who I am as a student and as a person. And like I said, I always kept that with me. I can't think of his name. Still trying to think of his name. But it was in one of the workshops, and it was just a simple question of, who are you? Can you explain yourself in 1 or 2 sentences?
His name is Damon too.
Yeah, them too. And that always stuck with me, always.
Um, well said. I guess I would add, when I was deciding between one school that was more prestigious, I guess, or more well known in like the industry that I wanted to go in, which was engineering, and then there was another school that was like less well known, but I felt like my heart was tied to it, and it was like this idea that me and my friends battled between like what our brains wanted, like logically, like this is the objectively better option, and then there was what my heart wanted, which was like the funner school that was like more supportive, that might not have been more well known, but was more of where I felt was a good fit for me. So my friend Juan, shout out to Juan, he told me this thing where it was like, in high school, there was a school called the North Carolina School for Science and Math, which I'm pretty sure you guys know. It's the more prestigious, more, you know, pretentious, I would say, school here in Durham, more selective for sure. And I just went to a measly public school that was falling by the edges, was tearing down. And even though NCSM was right there, I was still able to do so many great things and accomplish so many great things and do so many things that NCSM didn't provide a detriment to my success, even though it was the more well-known school, more prestigious. So after I heard that, I decided to go with Tufts, which was where my heart wanted to go, because I knew that it really isn't about the prestige. Like the prestige can only take you so far, but what takes you the extra mile is yourself and what you're willing to do and the hunger that you have for opportunities. So that really affected not only my school decision, but I would say the next 4 years and possibly the rest of my life.
For me, the best piece of advice that I got was when I was going through the UNC Chapel Hill application process, and I was so stressed out. And like my brother was the one that made me apply because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't think I was gonna get in. I was just No. But he said, if it's hard now, imagine how hard it'd be if you quit. And that just stuck with me. I was like, you're right. Like, I can't give up now. It'll be harder if I give up. And now, like, I'm glad I'm here. And, like, I'm glad those words stuck with me and I didn't give up.
My last question is, what tips or advice do you have for students getting ready for the college application process?
You will get in somewhere. You will go to college. Like, if you put in just a little bit of effort, just a little bit of work, you will get into college. You will go somewhere. Don't give up. It's gonna be super hard for some of you. It's gonna be super easy, but like, just keep going. Just keep going, and seek help from everyone around you, your friends, your counselor, your teachers, just everywhere.
Three things. Finish strong. If you've worked hard thus far, finish strong. If you haven't, put some work in and finish strong. Wherever position you are, whether it's finishing your junior year strong, your senior year strong, finish strong. The other thing is take the time to sit down and make your criteria. Please, like, with safety, target and reach schools with what you're looking for, what you hope to give to a university or an institution of higher learning or a college. Sit down and make your criteria. And also, like as stated, ask for help and assistance. And that's the biggest thing that I would say is get that assistance. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. There are thousands and thousands of kids that are going through the same things that you're going through right now, not just in where we live, but worldwide, who are trying to figure out where they want to go for the next 4 years of their life or do for the next 4 years of their life. And it's okay to have some nerves. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be a little bit on edge about how things are going to turn out. But just know that you're not alone, that you have the help, that you have the assistance, and you have not only people like College Game Plan, but just like the people on this panel who have went through this process, who have been through the whole application process and all those things, and they're also there for assistance. And so, like I said, just take as much time as you can to create your criteria. Ask for the help that you can, and never finish strong, and just never think that you need to stop doing well or you need to stop doing this. Just continue to push forward. There's always something new you could do, something new you could accomplish and achieve and learn. So just keep pushing, finish strong.
I would say just surround yourself with people who make you laugh. People who are gonna like brighten up your day and make you happy, because it is a hard process. So I would say just surround yourself with people who bring you joy and happiness every day, no matter how sad you are.
Great. Thank you all so much. I just wanted to give everyone a chance to ask questions in the chat if you have them. So I'll just give you a few seconds to do that. Panelists, was there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, just demand stuff, I guess. Demand stuff from everywhere and anything. Like I don't know how many people know this, but like I got my cap and gown for free, and it's really easy. All you have to do is just ask. Like it's a $70 burden, honestly, that you can just ease away by just asking. Just say like, "Oh, can I have a free cap and gown? I can't afford it. Whatever." They'll give it to you. I got my senior photos for free. Again, just ask in an email like, "Oh, I can't afford it. This is too expensive. Like $60 for a piece of paper." And they sent me senior photos completely for free. And I'm working to get my yearbook for free. So yeah, never settle. Like if you ever believe that you can't afford something, then just follow your gut and ask for it. Okay, like the worst thing that can happen is they say no, and that is it.
Solid advice. 100% agree, and I follow it too. Yeah. Yeah.
I know for the sake of our call, I just put my email in the chat. So if we want to have more extensive conversations, I'm here to assist in any way possible, shape, or form. Joshua Nicholson 2021 word @gmail.com. and I'm always here to have any conversations with any of you about anything.
Awesome, thank you. So we have a question. Were your parents really involved in the college application process?
No, it was
Not
like
at all.
they weren't even there.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God, when I got into my dream schools, I think my parents yelled at me because I didn't eat the food that they gave me. So yeah, that was like the extent of the support.
Yep.
Yes, my parent was very much so a part of my application process and getting into an institution of higher learning. Not so much the mechanics behind it, but just the extra encouragement that's needed, the support that's needed to continue to push. Like you had a brother that was pushing you. I had a parent that was pushing me and giving me those tidbits of advice to just keep pushing and to keep going and to just keep pushing the bar for excellence. And so that was something that really helped me.
I know Dwayne wanted to. I'm sorry, Brandon, were you saying
No,
something?
I was just gonna say that it doesn't have to be a parent or a sibling, even someone that's related. It could be a game playing college member. It could be a teacher, your counselor. It could be a friend. It could be anyone that's like could be involved with your college application process, and that could help you every step of the way if you just ask them.
All right, well, thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dwayne. I know he had a few things to say.
Yes. I want to say thank you to our very bright panelists. You made our day today special by being a part of today's session, and I mean that. I also want to apologize for the application process being so tough for some of you. But I have bad news. You'll have far more challenges in your undergraduate studies and much more tougher times. And as you go through these experiences, I want you to remind yourself that you've done this before and you will do this again successfully. As you go to college, have two expectations. The first one I want you to have is that your challenges are going to be there. And the second expectation I want you to have is despite the many challenges that will come your way, you'll easily overcome them because you have the resources, whether it is a network of people, including us at the Game Plan College. You may no longer be in high school and no longer need our support, but we've built a relationship with you, and do know, feel free to call us at any time. If you want a shoulder to cry on, my shoulders are broad enough to accommodate tears. I also want to say to you, some of you may also, as you pursue your college dreams, you may start also feeling burdened by the fact that you are the first in your family to be going to college. Yes, because many accomplishments like this one comes with that burden. And do know that while you'll be wearing that crown of accomplishment, that you'll have lots of responsibilities, not just to yourself, your family, friends, and the community, but also fulfill those responsibilities to be a model citizen and to support others, as I know all of you have been doing. So you'll reach back out to your juniors and seniors next year in your network and try to help them the best way that you can. I also want to say that we benefited from you using our services, not only as Joshua pointed out several times, and thanks to that, Joshua, it is in fact our job to serve you. But you know, we all on our team have choices to do many other jobs, but we do this because we care for the cause and we love the people we work with. We're very intentional about supporting you, and each of you, I hope, know that we are very passionate about serving you, and we will go to the end of the world and back just to ensure that we support you in the best way possible. Through your hard work, you've reached your accomplishments. Game Plan College was just there to say hi and hello and how might we help you. But it was your hard work that has gotten you to where you are now. So always remember that when the struggles come, you remember that the hard work that you engaged in brought you to where you are, and it will propel you to reach much, much further in life. I also want to use this opportunity to turn to attendees in today's session to say, especially to, and I won't call any name, but you know yourselves, especially to the students who have visited these sessions, remote sessions, religiously. Do know, we know who you are, we care about you, we love you the same way we love Angel, Brianni, and Josh, and we will do everything for you. And should at any point you need a letter of recommendation or any support in any way, know that Game Plan College is there to support you. Again, Angel, Brianni, and Josh, you've done yourselves well, your family well, and do know that you getting into college will change your lives forever in a very positive way. And high commendation from our team for your hard work and your success. Congratulations again.
Thank you all for joining us today. Just a reminder that we have a survey. I just linked it in the chat. If you fill that out, you'll be in the running for a $20 gift card. This is our last week of virtual sessions. So we have a session today at 2 p.m. Christina, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, it'll be part of our Para los Primeros series, which is a virtual workshop series completely in Spanish for students and families that are first generation in their families to go to college. And today we'll be covering Cómo pagar, or how to pay for college.
Awesome, thank you. And we also have information sessions, 2 more this week, one of them with Rice and the other one with the University of Alabama. So make sure to tune into those, and have a great rest of your Monday.